The room smelled like lemon polish and old money when his sister leaned back and said, "We're only doing this because we care." 45 minutes in, my hands were still folded in my lap, calm, still, counting breaths like chess moves. They called it tradition, a welcoming ritual, a public autopsy of the person marrying in. I didn't interrupt when his mother listed my ambition as arrogance. I didn't flinch when his father said I lacked gratitude. I didn't defend myself when his brother laughed and said I'd never last. I was waiting, because this wasn't the beginning, it was the end. I met him in a rain-soaked cafe 3 years earlier when he apologized for bumping into my chair and stayed to talk. He listened the way people pretend to listen when they want something, eyes steady, nods perfectly timed. I mistook that for kindness, for depth, for love. He learned my habits quickly, coffee order, sleep schedule, the way I tuck my hair behind my ear when I'm thinking. I thought he was attentive. Later, I realized he was studying me. When he proposed, it was quiet. No crowd, no ring reveal theatrics, just us and a promise that felt precise, secure. I said yes because stability can look like love if you squint, and because I trusted him. The cracks didn't announce themselves, they whispered. A text notification that vanished when I looked over. Family dinners where my name turned into a punchline I wasn't invited to laugh at. The way he started correcting me in front of them, gently, like training a dog. I noticed patterns, I always do. He stopped defending me, then he started agreeing with them. Not fully, just enough. The proof came on a Tuesday, a message meant for his sister sent to me by mistake. She needs to be humbled before the wedding. Don't worry. The tradition always works. I didn't cry. I took screenshots. I saved timestamps. Control returned the moment I stopped reacting. I didn't confront him. I didn't rage. I didn't expose anything early. I planned. I reviewed the prenup he'd insisted on, the one his family lawyer drafted. Funny thing about documents, they reveal intent. I asked questions, neutral ones. I learned where the leverage was. I listened more. I spoke less. I recorded conversations in states where it was legal. I forwarded emails to a private account. I let them underestimate me because arrogance blinds faster than love ever did. I watched his mother's charity filings, his father's business entanglements. Nothing illegal, just delicate. Reputations built on whispers collapse when whispers change direction. I scheduled the family dinner myself, offered my place, offered wine, offered smiles. They accepted, confident, hungry. Traditions thrive on consent, which brings me back to the lemon polish and the circle of judgment. They went around the table, one by one. My laugh was too sharp, my career too demanding, my independence concerning. He sat beside me, silent, eyes forward, hands folded exactly like mine. That hurt more than anything they said. When they finished, his mother tilted her head and smiled. "Your turn," she said. "This is where you reflect." The silence stretched, thick, expectant. I stood. I thanked them for their honesty. I always do. Then I opened my phone. I read his message out loud, word for word. I didn't look at him when his breath hitched. I played the recording of his sister explaining how they break them down early so they behave later. I mentioned the prenup clause they'd overlooked, the one triggered by documented emotional abuse. I slid printed emails across the table, neatly organized, tabbed, dated. I told them the wedding was canceled. I told him his belongings were already packed. I told his mother her board position would be reconsidered once the charity received my lawyer's letter in the morning. No shouting, no tears, just information delivered with care. He tried to speak when I sat down. I raised a finger, 1 inch. Not yet. I looked at each of them, slowly. This tradition, I said, only works when the person you're tearing apart needs your approval. No one moved. No one breathed. I picked up my coat and thanked them for dinner. Now, alone, I replay it sometimes, not because I miss him, but because precision deserves appreciation. I didn't destroy them. I let them collapse under their own weight. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't have to. They wanted me smaller, quieter, grateful for scraps. They taught me everything I needed to know about timing, silence, and power. Betrayal clarifies, and justice, when done right, doesn't scream. It waits. Then it speaks once.